Well, as we move into the month of February, it's a great time to give you an update. Now, for those of you who watched us last month, you received some information about our homeless and housing efforts with the City of Greeley. And this month, we want to give you an update. Yes, there's already an update. Lots and lots have happened since the last time we spoke with Juliana Kitten, who is our Assistant City Manager with the City of Greeley. Juliana, thank you so much for being here today again.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
All right, now as I mentioned in the introduction there, lots has been happening in your department. Thank you for being so busy. And as part of that, as we mentioned last time, a big thing that needs to happen for you is the building of a team and those folks that will go out and start interacting with our homeless folks. So can you give us an update on how things are going with that?
Yes, well, fortunately, we found out between the last time I spoke with you and now that we did receive a grant from DOLA, which will allow us to actually expand our team. Originally, we were going to serve 30 people. We'll now be able to serve 60, but for us to increase the number of people experiencing homelessness that we serve, we cannot do that unless we're also increasing the number of staff members, because it's so important for people to remember that it's not just housing, it's actually housing with the intensive wraparound services. So I'm gonna be, and they're posted right now, and there's some more coming as well, a clinical team leader, so this is a master's level clinician, some case managers, as well as a housing specialist who works specifically with our landlords, and also a program coordinator, because we'll be collecting a lot of data, and there'll be a lot of reporting, of course, for both what the council provided as well as these grants.
So that's some great news for our community. But I know that makes it a little bit tougher for you because now you kind of have to double everything, double the staff. But the outreach part of it is what we're really after, which is those additional folks that we can work with and hopefully make a very big impact in their lives. So along with being able to double that, you mentioned the grant side of it. I know you've been super busy. Just looking at additional funds to help support your program and the efforts in the community. Can you give us an update there?
Sure. So the state has a couple grants out right now that we are actively applying for, both with our partners in the community and the city is applying for as well. So hopefully in a few months we'll do another segment and I'll have some good news, but we'll see. We've been very, very fortunate so far.
Yeah, and again, kudos to you, and I know that there's so much more effort and work that's going to come out of that, as well as opportunities for folks to get involved. Now, this last month, we're in February now, this last month we had the point in time count, and wanted to make sure that we gave you an opportunity to kind of thank folks about that, and again, remind our listeners, our viewers, kind of the reasoning behind that point of time count, and how we'll be using that data.
So I really want to thank United Way and all our community partners and the community members that just wanted to volunteer and be part of this. The point in time count is absolutely crucial because we cannot make smart plans about what the community needs unless we also have really good data that we believe in. And so what the point in time count is truly we take a week where we go and we count everyone, both unsheltered and sheltered. We certainly are never able to capture everyone, and in previous years it had been a little bit clunky because they were just using pencil and paper. Now they're utilizing an app, which many communities across the country do, and it helps because it doesn't take as long to deduplicate numbers, and we can get the results faster. It'll still be a couple of months before we actually get the results, but I'm glad that we're getting them now as we're kind of starting these new initiatives.
Now, so that point in time count, I know that that's kind of a national program that a lot of municipalities and communities participate in, as well as Greeley, obviously. But that is like a one-time count that happens each year. Is that the only time the count happens, or are there other things like that occur or that maybe are coming in the future that you know of?
So in terms of the specific point in time count, that is a mandate by HUD, so that if any community that receives funding from HUD for their what's called the continuum of care, they must do this count once a year.
Okay.
In every community does it the same week in January. But we are talking here about possibly doing 2 counts a year, just as we're a new continuum of care, and the more data points that we have utilizing the same methodology, the stronger our data will be.
So there's still a lot more to come with the development of this department. And so can you just kind of give us an idea of what is to come and in the future, like 2023 and beyond?
Absolutely. So first of all, I want to say to anyone watching this, if you have any interest at all, would love to have you apply, because I know we have great talent here in Greeley. I would say in terms of other things to come, one of my jobs is to always be looking for different types of funding. And really the goal, I think, ultimately is to have a real mix of both public and private funding, because no one entity can do it by themselves. Yeah. So I think in terms of specifics, the next steps will be training the team in the very specific evidence-based practice that we will be utilizing. We will also be holding different community meetings as we start to get a little bit further to let people know what's really happening and answer questions people have. And then we will be doing periodic updates as well, both with the council and in the community. Because number one, we must have the community's support, and I know many people are interested, and that's really, being a City of Greeley employee, that's my top priority. So thank you very much for your interest in this.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for all the effort that you've put in. And I know there's some really great things to come. And as Juliana mentioned, we look forward to having all of you, our viewers and our residents, involved in the conversation and making Greeley and the opportunities for our homeless even better, and that everyone has a home and a place that they can call home. So thank you so much, Juliana, for being here today again. And we look forward to hearing more about the program and the success of that.
Great. Thank you.
All right, so for those updates and to keep up to date on what's happening and going on in our community, make sure that you head on over to greeleygov.com/homeless and housing services.